If you're already using AI, but still working the same hours, this video is for you. And let me be clear at the start. This is not about tools, prompts, or shortcuts. Most professionals I speak with are already using AI in some form. They're experimenting, they're prompting, they're generating content, summaries, ideas, yet nothing fundamental has changed. The workload feels the same. Decision-making still feels heavy. And AI often feels more like noise than leverage. That's not because AI isn't capable. It's because most professionals are using tools without structure. And tools without structure don't reduce work. They add variation. Here's the mistake I see again and again. People think if I get better at prompting, things will improve. Prompting feels productive. It gives immediate feedback. It creates the illusion of progress. But prompting is not system design. Prompting is a coping mechanism when structure is missing. If every result depends on how you ask the question, then nothing is stable. And professionals don't operate in environments where outcomes are allowed to be random. In professional environments, predictability matters. Consistency matters. Accountability matters. AI output that surprises you is not impressive. It's dangerous. Most AI failures are not dramatic. They're quiet. No errors, no crashes, no obvious red flags. Just slightly wrong assumptions, subtle inconsistencies, decisions made on shaky outputs, and because the outputs look reasonable, they get trusted. This is where professionals get into trouble. AI doesn't usually fail loudly. It fails plausibly, and plausible errors are the hardest ones to detect. This is why judgment matters more than capability. AI is very good at generating answers. It is terrible at knowing when it should not answer at all. That boundary must be designed by you. Let's separate two things that are often confused: tools and systems. A tool is something you use. A system is something that behaves consistently. Most people are stacking tools, ChatGPT, Canvas, Zapier, Notion sheets, but stacking tools does not create a system. A system has defined roles, defined inputs, defined boundaries, defined failure conditions. If you can't explain what the AI is responsible for what it is not allowed to do, when human review is required, then you don't have a system. You have a collection of experiments. And experiments don't scale in professional environments. Professionals approach AI differently than hobbyists. They ask different questions. Not what can this tool do, but what behavior do I need to be predictable? They don't try to automate everything. They decide what must remain human, what can be delegated where oversight is mandatory. Professionals design constraints first, because constraints create reliability. Freedom creates creativity, but constraints create trust. If your AI behaves differently every time, it cannot be relied on. And unreliability is unacceptable in professional work. Most people jump straight to execution. They skip role definition, boundary setting, testing, discipline. They build systems the same way they write prompts, reactively, and then they're surprised when results drift. Here's a simple test you can apply to anything you've built. If I ran this same process tomorrow, would I expect the same outcome? If the answer is no, you're not looking at automation. You're looking at improvisation. And improvisation always consumes more energy than it saves. Leverage does not come from speed. It comes from reduced decision load. When AI is structured properly, you stop redeciding the same things, you stop checking outputs. Constantly, you stop compensating for randomness. That's when work feels calmer. That's when AI starts to feel like an assistant instead of a demanding intern. The goal is not AI that does more. The goal is AI that does less reliably. Professionals don't want creativity everywhere. They want consistency, traceability, explainability, especially when decisions have consequences. I'll be very explicit here. There are things I refuse to automate. Anything involving final judgment, ethical decisions, accountability to clients, irreversible consequences. AI can support those decisions. It cannot replace responsibility. Automation should concentrate responsibility, not diffuse it. If you don't know who is responsible when something goes wrong, your system is poorly designed. If this resonates, it means you're already past the beginner stage. You don't need more tools. You need better structure. I've documented this thinking properly. calmly without hype, for professionals who want predictability instead of noise. If you prefer structured references instead of scattered videos, you'll find a link below. If not, that's fine too. The most important thing is this: AI does not reduce responsibility, it increases it. Design accordingly.